Morning. Wesley here at Blue Collar Jigs. Now, I've tested the marabou. Now we're going to see what this hackle looks like in this dingy water. After storm, it's been about a day or so calm after the storm. Still pretty cloudy, pretty stained real bad. But this morning, fish are real active. There's plenty of bait on top flicking the water, and there's plenty of bass and crappie slamming the water going after these minnows. But I want to use these conditions to test this hackle. This is dry, 132. We're going to see what it does wet. We're going to see how it swims. And always, when I'm throwing jigs, that sun gun's on that loop knot so that it always sits perfectly flat in the water, just like natural bait does. So that's very important, that loop knot. Let's see what it does. See how it sits flat? And the action I get when I bounce it, how I swim it. See, it's kind of stiff tail, but you do get a little wiggle when you bounce. You get a little action there. It looks good. Now see how far we can go down before we can't see that color anymore. So just like the marabou, I'm calling it about 8 inches. So this is what it looks like wet. And when you get in that water, you got that flashing on bottom. They're gonna see that flashing, which is kind of like scales on a minnow. See that tail kind of fluffs out. See, it's all together, and then it hits that water and it kind of fluffs out. It darts around, and that's a lot of what these minnows are doing on the water right now. These shad, I know y'all can't see them, but I see them everywhere, and they're just moving slow. They're just sitting slow top water, and then they move around. They'll dart back this way, and they'll hover, and then they'll dart back this way, and they'll hover, and then something will come to the top and smack them. Well, that's what this is imitating. This is just trying to imitate what these fish are naturally feeding on. Got a stiff tail, not as stiff as deer hair, but just an old chicken feather. But you do get a flick of that tail when you move it in the water. That tail does flick like this, and it's like just like a shiner tail. When you move in the water, you get that flick, and that's what you're doing. You're imitating that bait fish. And that's another good reason why when you tying these jigs, you want big old V cuts, so that all you have on the end is this moving feather. That way you don't want, when the quills stick out past the hook, that quill don't bend. They don't give you any action. So you cut big old V cuts, so all of that tail is moving and flicking. in the water. So pay attention to that when you buy jigs or when you make jigs. You don't want quills sticking out past your hook. You want all that good action from the tail. Has a pretty good little test. I like how it swims. I like how it looks. I'm imitating all this little bait fish around me. Looks good. And this little 132, I can throw that sun gun a long ways on 4-pound vicious line. And this, I believe that's a 2000, well, that's a 1500 PC Fun Viper. That sucker throws so freaking smooth. Man, I can toss this little old 132 way, I can get up to the corner of that boat dock. And I can work this little old jig however deep I want. I pull it in and I bounce it a little bit. Pull it in, a slow reel retrieve, because it don't weigh nothing, and bounce it. And I'm imitating all these little bait fish. And you get around some structure like that right there, while they're feeding on these dang bait fish, you gonna get something.